Surprise.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Austin, where I'm visiting. First nice day, too, man.
I know. It's like
Literally broke for this.
the sun came out just for the podcast.
Yeah,
right?
it's been cloudy the whole time I've been here. I mean, I'm not saying bad. It's been muggy, too.
Yeah. yeah. Steve brought the weather with him.
But yeah, I don't know if people are. I see 5 of you in here yet. You guys make your comments. I'm not in Colorado, so I'm not used to the pace at which these will come into StreamYard, but David and I are doing the podcast that we always do, the Gig App podcast for you gig workers. And there's some big changes. And at first, if it sounds like a bit of a sting, don't let it. Because almost immediately upon talking about it last night, I was feeling even better than I did trying to figure out. So it all of a sudden it made it so that I felt like weight was off my shoulders trying to solve some other issues, and it was easier to focus on this. But I'm going to let David kind of walk us through what has happened here, because also you guys have heard our story many times, but David and I literally, almost maybe to this day, I'm not sure, but it's literally within 72 hours, David and I met 4 years ago, like almost to the day.
It was crazy, actually. We didn't do that.
Yeah.
We couldn't count. We thought it was 5.
Yeah.
But, that's okay.
Yeah. We had to use our fingers. 2020, 2021.
Yeah. People are we just going to ignore Steve's hair? Yeah.
You like that, Gary?
He was thinking the same thing, put a damn hat on, old man.
Y'all can shut up, Josh. Whatever. Dude.
Yeah.
Even Oscar, Ellen, does my hair look good?
Yeah.
I need a woman. I don't need Josh's opinion. I need a woman's opinion. Traveler,
Steve,
you're a man, but what do you think?
Steve got this haircut here in Austin. He walked around and found a place.
Yeah. No, but oddly enough, there was a funny story. When I did go get my haircut, I was looking up Waymo because I saw them everywhere here. And I found that Waymo does test here by driving blind people around. It's almost comical. It's not a joke. It's true. It says that we work with the School of the Blind. And I was like, I mean, everybody in here probably has a joke immediately.
Yeah.
Like, why? So they don't see it coming? It's like. But
so Steve, we were driving around 2 days ago, and there was a Waymo in front of us, and Steve, we're parked at a red light, and Steve jumped out of my car and ran up towards the Waymo and scared the lady driving the Waymo, and all the lights went red, and it was like detecting human, and they confused the shit out of this poor car, basically. So.
I had to go. I was running up to see what was going on, but there was a lady driving it, so it's not really autonomous. I don't know.
Yeah,
but let's put this news out there, because I know that like I said, it'll sting, but it doesn't sting at the same time. I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah. So I guess on, the big update is, we've decided to shut down the Para app. So I know that's probably a surprise to people listening, but, let me just explain a little bit why, right? So I think, the news with Parworks came out probably a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago, where we decided to shut down Parworks. And I think what we basically realized was that, we've always set out with a goal for Para, right? Which is to make it so that workers can find more good work, right? So really by that is like, can you find more good work, get it in one place? And then what that evolved into is, can you use a work profile to unlock more work? Can you take Parworks trips from the app? But it really, we just decided that the way that it was going just wasn't working to accomplish that goal fast enough, right? And I think what we learned is that there's another way that we think that could get us to that path. I also think, the app started 4 years ago, and 4 years ago it was in a very different place, right? A lot has changed in the gig economy over the last 4 years. When we built Auto Decline, we thought it would be super popular because, 3 or 4 years ago it probably was. But by the time we got it out, people suddenly didn't have enough work. So Auto Decline wasn't that helpful for folks, right? We thought we could do some wonderful stuff with Parworks. And I do think at the end of the day, what makes me proud with what we've done is, I guess sort of really 3 things, right? We've got a couple 100,000 people to use the app and made, I thought that was pretty awesome.
Almost 250,000.
Yeah. Which was pretty awesome. We were able to get people paid by finding them good work, right? So we were able to get a bunch, tens of thousands of people to do good work through Parworks, right? So I think that's pretty awesome. And I think the other one is we cost DoorDash $85 million in tip transparency back at the envelope.
Oh, and
so
I love that. And that's and therein lies. And so, like, wait, let me weigh in there too, because therein lies what I always, and David can tell you this. Even when tip transparency first came about, Jeff founded all this, and everybody was loving it. What do you remember me going? This is going to be bad.
Yeah,
like I just knew it. I'm not saying it was like, again, I didn't do enough delivery and all that, but I just knew, like, dude, this isn't what we were trying to do. This is what everybody's going to know about. And even last night at dinner, we were talking about, like, Jimmy was saying, like, well, we just need tip transparency back. And then it would have stuck around. I'm thinking, why? We have it right now. We can just, at every offer, we can just drop down zero, because that's what the tip is. You guys know this. You don't need tip transparency anymore. It's zero.
And I think really from my perspective, right, is like, once we got rid of Parworks, Recruit was working, just to be super upfront, right? Once you got rid of Parworks, Recruit was working moderately, right? And the other features we have, mileage tracker and auto decline, there are other apps that do that, right? So, Gary's built, a way deeper set of tools for auto decline than we have. If you want a mileage tracker, there's Gridwise and other folks, there are other options, right? So I think it really was a time to take a step back and basically say, hey, the goal was always to try and help people find more good work in the way that it works right now. What we have minus Parworks isn't really accomplishing that. The one thing, though, I can say is, I think Steve knows this, and I think a lot of the people who are listening hopefully know this, is like, this doesn't mean that this is the end of me or what we're working on, right? So there is a plan. We are working on some other new things that I call sort of a bit of like a zig to a zag, right? yeah. Which I call a little bit of a zig to the zag, right? So I think, the same stated goal still holds true. We want to make it easy for workers to get competition for their time by getting easy access to work. Excuse me while I go maybe a little wonky here, is we realized through building Parworks and Recruit, we really wanted to make it so that if you owned your profile, you could almost go use your profile to unlock work. And we tried to work with companies to make that a reality. But I think what we realized was a lot of the systems weren't ready to take those profiles, right? So we could go, register someone a profile in a delivery platform, but their own system didn't have a way for you to be signed up for insurance, for payments to be registered, an account to be registered, the work. So I think what we basically realized was this idea of portable work, starting with the profile. Most people just didn't have a system to be able to accept that profile. I guess most people weren't Uber or Lyft or DoorDash or had that. And a lot of the good work, frankly, was those folks, right? So medical couriers, last mile delivery, people who were paying well also happened to be the ones who had the worst systems and weren't able to accept these profiles. So I think really why I call it the zig for the zag is I think, we're going to spend the next year really focused on trying to build software for these people who have good paying jobs but don't have any software. I think Steve has a list of, before that he showed about, like, medical couriers paying $30 an hour, no website, no onboarding, no app, nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in some of them websites, but you guys, I've even tried letting you guys know about them. People aren't gravitating to them like I thought they might, like when I introduce an app.
Yeah.
They're just not going there. So it needs to be, I guess, I think of it like this. Yeah. It's stuck in the early days of the internet and people are like, a website? I'm not going there.
But I think, to be clear, we don't want to build apps for those folks.
No. But there's a way to bring the work around, because they're like, for example, there's truck loading boards. I've brought this to many people's attention many times. A lot of you in the audience, that there's truck boards that truckers aren't taking their trucks out anymore. 18-wheel truckers, many of them just start saying, no, that's too, the loads are way too underpriced. I'm not even moving my truck for that. So they have actually started splitting those load boards down that used to be only for 18-wheelers. And now it's got sprinter van, SUV, even car stuff.
Yeah.
So these boards are there. There's jobs out there, but they are tough to navigate. And you got to go through a lot of them. And
yeah,
I think there's a way to bring that in and say, hey.
I think what this will mean for sort of listeners, right, is that, like, you're not, the app will shut down, call it the first or second week of May is the expectation. The second one is I don't think people are going to see too much from us for, call it, 6 months, right? But the goal is 6+ months out. Here's really my goals. I want to bring Parworks back, and I want to bring Para Recruit and Para Pass back on steroids, right? But it just what happens is, in a world in which we can help a lot of the people who have the good work with a system, we'll build that system that can accept these profiles, right? So it's sort of, it sounds like what we're building is very different, and maybe this is how you know I'm getting older, but the analogy I've always made is like we built a plug, right? We try to build a plug on behalf of drivers to plug profiles into people's systems. And what we realized was the sockets were the wrong shape, the electricity was faulty, the sockets sucked. So we're basically going to spend the next year, building sockets, but the goal is to come back and put the plug back in. So really at the end of the day, we want to build a world. I was
even trying to twist that into like it's European. Like we all have the normal plug. We get over to Europe and you need the adapter.
Yeah. Like, yeah, but really,
plug anything in,
the goal is to be able to come back in a year and say, hey, you can suddenly access all of this good work really easily through that profile, right? So it's sort of a zig to a zag, but really that's sort of the goal there. I do like what Josh says here. You should make an app that forces Steve to live up to his name, right? Share Rodeo.
Josh, I keep telling you, man, I'm back on Uber now. I will not get back on Lyft, but I'm back on Uber. I won't do it unless when I'll do it is when there's a bonus.
Yeah.
Like put a bonus out that says 5 rides, $250. I'll go do 5 rides. That's it.
Yeah.
I won't be
Traveler.
working.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I think, I guess I just wanted to take this moment just to say thank you to everyone, right? So I know I was talking
but
to
at
Steve.
The same time, yes, he's saying thank you, but we heavily discussed this is not every Thursday. We'll still be here. In fact, we're going to start just talking now. We can very openly talk gig stuff. We'll tell you probably updates that you should know about is this how we're saying it with GigSafe?
Yeah,
because some of it will be
with
relevant.
GigSafe. We'll also do the usual sort of chatting, talking about legislative stuff and all of that, because I think that's the one thing I want to make clear is like, I'm going to continue to build stuff in the gig space, right? And I'm going to continue to build things that build towards the same goal. And this is a hard decision, right? I put 4 years of my life and my soul into this app, right? Mm-hmm. I'm for anyone who's stuck around most of this time, I'm 35 pounds heavier and much more tired than I used to be.
He is,
right?
But
yeah, I am. If you look at the photos from way back, so it's like but it's been an amazing journey, right? So from my end, just thank you, everyone, for sort of being a part of that journey. It's been a wild journey, right? From, you were there when it was nothing
this audience knows even my brand has changed. I'm telling you guys that DoorDash ain't going to do it for you anymore. Like, I know that's quite a big leap to what the difference of things we're talking about here, but to be honest, it's not. And I'm not saying the sky is falling, but I am saying we need to find new opportunities and new ways to show you guys it's fairly easy to go this route too and get some of this work. And I'm not saying W-2 and you need to go work at Wendy's. Not at all. Just saying there's other things out there that we somehow need to streamline together and show those of you who are always complaining now that you can't make any money on DoorDash. And I know you're not lying. There's 95% plus of DoorDashers in this country, even top dashers, are complaining their asses off.
Yeah.
It's not feasible anymore. You need to multi-up, and even that gets tough. So I think there's better offers, almost like we've been talking about. They're just, you guys don't see them.
Yeah.
And I get it. They're hard.
They're hard, man.
We've trying to pull them together.
We've had Jimmy sign up for a bunch of these. And I was actually going to try and get Steve to sign up for one. But, some of these apps,
I sign up for everything.
Yeah, but here, I'll show you. It was like this medical courier app. They pay $30 to $40 an hour.
Go share.
No. It's not even an app. Medical courier company. They pay well, but to onboard it takes 72 screens. Literally 72 screens we counted, right? And there isn't an app, right?
72 screens of what? Questions?
Yes.
Jesus.
Right? And we just found a bunch of these where you're just like, this is wild. It doesn't have to be this way.
Right.
Right.
And in fact,
but the work
model...
the underlying work is awesome.
Right. No, it's kind of like, and I'm not saying this is going to be the model at all, but it's kind of like Winolo.
Yeah.
Winolo is like what we all used to know. Like, hey, you go into a temp service, a recruiter gets you into somewhere that you're like, if you're a chef, get you into a kitchen for a couple weeks. Usually, unless they don't like you, most likely you're going to be offered a job. Because those weren't just temp jobs. They were employers wanting to test the waters before offering you a job.
Yeah.
And that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying get on, we're going to head that direction. We'll get you into a W-2. No. But in this new world, there has to be a system that does that for gig workers who put in the extra time and do a good job. Because the one thing we've been talking about a lot here the last couple of days is how bad everybody does. I mean, not you guys, but I mean, people have really lowered the bar on what's expected.
Yeah. And I think for me, it's like that's
sad.
always been one of the transparency and then like competition for time, right? And I think that what we build, I actually think it'll take a little bit, but it'll come back.
But unassigning and cold food and the new, now you're paying 200% of what you would pay if you walked 8 blocks and just picked it up, even without a car.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, they've got to these new levels where inflation's through the roof and nobody could afford it anyway.
Yeah.
And now, like we were talking about, the only thing that anybody has any control over other than just not ever using the app is the tip. That's it. Yeah. So what are they doing? They're literally taking the tip out.
Yeah.
And I mean, that makes it so that everybody's doing work for $1. And I know all of you. You guys you're not doing it.
Well, for mine, I also just a little reminiscing, but it's been such a great journey for me. It's like from Steve ranting at me on the internet to being like, hey, let me update the table, to starting an earnings tracker, to tip transparency.
I was going to even say,
we had the chat in the app. Right,
I was even going to say, between me yelling at him, David set up like the first testing facility for COVID in the country, or in the state of California, like one of 3 in California when they first started. And my buddy was all worried because he had some immunocompromised situation, and he lived over the hill. It was a city. We won't name it because I'm not sure we should, but it was a small city right there across the bridge and on the coast, and they were testing everybody there. But somehow David added this guy's name. He's one of my dearest friends from forever. They've still never met, but it's like just this small world, man. He's like, I really need to get tested. Nowhere. I'm like, I think I can get you in tomorrow.
Yeah. It's like, we got you.
He's like, how the hell do you know a guy? Like,
but if you think about it, it's like we went from that to launching an app to hundreds of thousands, to people yelling at each other in the chat, to DoorDash crash, to getting one of the users elected to a Colorado State Senate, to me getting to represent the movement on the New York Times. Like, it's been a wild. Like, when I started off doing some of this, never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined that a bunch of this stuff would happen. I mean, hell, we're sitting here in Austin. Who would have ever thought about that, right?
Yeah.
So,
and that's probably another point to be made. It's not like everything is folded. It's more like the trajectory just isn't showing anything, so it has to change. Is that a good way to say it?
Yeah, and I think it's just,
because otherwise you'd just be burning it till it's gone, because that's
and I think
answer things.
How the process works for me is like I always set out with a goal or a set of principles we wanted to go after. And what you learn after a while is just like, maybe this isn't the best way for us to have gone towards to achieve that goal, right? But the goal remains the same. So
Alan said that you might have needed to put on the 35 pounds.
Yeah.
He didn't, but also I know what he's talking about. And I remember when David did get bigger, I feel like he's not anymore. I think he's kind of exaggerating, because I think he's in between. He did get bigger, and now he's smaller. Again. But yeah, I mean, just everything. I mean, David was autonomy.jobs. I had him on podcasts that I can't even listen to anymore because I'll get sick because of how bad they sound. It's like, but I mean, like, there's great content in them. I've been back to those first 10 episodes, and David's on like 2 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're talking about autonomy.jobs. We're not even talking, Para wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
Para wasn't even a word that we were using.
No, it was autonomy.jobs. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I remember we built an earnings tracker, and Steve got a friend to use our earnings tracker. And of course, as per building everything, the earnings tracker crashed on the first day of Steve giving it to him. And I remember sitting at like a family dinner and just having to shoot out and like be like, it's crashed. This is a VVVIP person that Steve introduced to me. I told my family, like, sorry, I'm just going to be gone for the next couple hours. Then I learned last night that the guy barely even drove anyways.
He actually was driving at the time. But what I told David, how I sold this, some of you guys know, you've heard me say the name Jesse. That's the guy I snowboard with all the time. This is his older brother, Mike. He's a great bartender in Denver. He was doing some gig work and he was doing rideshare till he got his next bartending gig. And I told him, hey, there's this new thing, Para. Here's what it's going to do. Would you be willing to test it out? And he said, are you testing it out? And I said, no, I don't want to risk my account. And he's like, sure, I'll do it. So I actually gave him the warning. Even I'm like, I'm not using it. I don't.
But it's funny
know
how the
yet.
whole turns. I remember at the time thinking it was the end of the world. It's like we got one person to use it and it broke and we're fucked. I remember thinking that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the first one plugs in, it's like over.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I was just like, man, like,
But I mean, I guess so. What we were talking about, so like the podcast on Thursday will still happen. A lot of times it'll just be based around information for you guys. What do we see? Like David still talks to the CEOs. I talk to him all the time too, and who's doing good things. I still believe. I know a lot of you have different opinions on this. I still believe Delivered's one of the greatest ones out there. I mean, I think Chris is pretty straightforward. I love that he has the order totals. I know there's always a fight to be had with any app.
Yep.
But to be honest, like he's doing some good things. I like that he's trying that last mile. Again, I'm glad people are seeing that it's not about food delivery anymore. And I guess that's what GigSafe kind of is really moving towards, is potentially a whole nother open door for you guys. That is
competition for your time. Competition for your time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what do you guys always hear me say? I don't care what the interface is. I don't care how often the offers come. I don't care how pretty it looks. I don't care about any of that. When I'm out working, I want to make the most money I can when I'm out. I don't care what the app can be the worst looking app in the world. If it pays best, that's the one I'm using.
It could be the worst looking app in the world, but you better be able to get on it, basically.
Right, but I mean, like, if I can turn it on and it's getting me the best paying orders, like I guess I'm pointing out, I know some people who really love the interface of DoorDash.
Yeah.
And so therefore they're like, I just like that. Well, do you like it when you don't get paid?
Yeah.
Because my thing is, when I'm working gig apps, especially now that we're all multi-apping, I hope. I mean, my God, be on the one that in your market is paying you the most for that time you're out.
Yeah.
Period. You have no, I mean, even if you love food delivery, there's other ones, but like, even if like, again, you don't have to go to rideshare, but there's like Last Miles or Roadies or Walmart Sparks, do whatever's money, period. Right? Am I wrong? I mean, I'm not about, they don't have any loyalty to you guys. All know that. They don't have any loyalty to you, but we're supposed to have loyalty to them. Come here. We got a guest. He's going to jump in real quick.
What's up? Hey. How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Say hi.
Wow, from one live stream to the other.
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
Here.
But yeah, so I guess as he comes in late here, should we just catch you up to speed real quick now?
Okay.
Okay.
No,
no, we'll do that later. Yeah, you've fallen too far behind, so Gary's laughing. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have any I wouldn't think you have any questions. I mean, the real question will be what comes next and what content comes next. And like I said, we'll still be here every week. So we'll kind of just keep that going. And also, like David was talking about before we went on, like we'll be talking about gig stuff too. Like, don't worry, that's still going to be like forefront. Like, things are going wrong. If to me, in some ways, it's like something's always down, and everybody has to point it out, even though they know it's an issue. Do you know that? Yeah, I know. I feel like these are the same. Some of these people have been on the app for years. They know that just give it a minute, it fixes itself.
Hey, here you go. Check it out.
Oh, hello, my friend. How are you? I was live streaming from my YouTube channel. Now I teletransportate to here. So crazy days with these delivery apps, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Now, you remember the trend that happened a couple of weeks ago? Every huge YouTuber was like, I'm quitting.
Mm-hmm.
Now every GigTuber is saying, I'm quitting.
Yeah.
So it's like a trend. No?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we know that goes. A lot of them follow each other and just make that content. And...
Yeah, clickbait.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
We should do it.
Hey, what's up, Chris? That's Sergio.
Nice.
Chris.
So this is the cheapest light ever. I should do live streaming outside.
Yeah.
Right?
It's better than a ring light. It doesn't make your glasses do that.
Yeah.
So how things are going? I feel like I'm that person who just arrived to a live stream and what are you talking about?
Right, you
Like,
could have watched it on the way over.
yeah, but I was live
Yeah,
streaming.
yeah.
I was live.
He's like, I'm live streaming and watching a live stream while driving. I'm not gonna-
Yeah, I was like, with
Yeah,
my
traveler,
GPS.
traveler. That's a good question. So we rented this house as an office, and it came with disco balls on the tree. So don't ask me why. So
I thought it was your idea.
no. It just
Yeah.
the guy who owns the house just had them in the tree. So
Nice.
they have that, and they have like a swing, and Steve has been sitting in that swing all day, basically.
Everybody
actually.
does.
Yeah.
Actually, to be honest, you gotta keep an eye out, because if you want that swing, you gotta get in it. Like I saw Jimmy in it, David's been in it, and everybody's always in that swing.
Uh,
Um,
cool.
When you're here, you want to have a party.
It's true. I think
Yeah.
yeah.
but I guess
How is everybody over there?
I
I
guess
see you, traveler. I see you. Hey, man. I can see you, man. Stop doing what you're doing. Don't. That is not good. Okay. Good.
move your hand.
Nice. Nice.
But I don't know. I guess that I would say that we're gonna be back next week, and each week more will come out,
Yeah.
clearly and whatnot. But it's not, it's not a bad agenda. It's still that. I think that's the good thing. It's still the same cause.
Yep.
It's still to find better work for people, hopefully in a flexible setting.
1099.
Even if it ends up being like block timing, that's still flexible to me.
Yeah.
Like in Amazon Flags or something, where you have to, hey, here's going to be your
Block or
deliveries that you
route,
need to-
basically.
yeah, and if you get it done early. So there's those kind of jobs too. But obviously, clearly, if they're clearly defined, if they're transparent, you guys should be seeing them. You can't make it on DoorDash anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, or you and your audience, but DoorDash is rough, man. I don't even care if you're a top dasher anymore.
Especially with the well, it's in everywhere. But this morning, drivers woke up with the news that now you have to complete 80% of you gotta have 80% acceptance, so you can even think about scheduling and now you have this VIP option in DoorDash, and you need to be a VIP.
Well, what if you're not 80%? I thought that was for when they moved the 80 to 90
You need
for
luck. You need luck.
right, but they're not going to try and pull that, kicking people off.
Well, they're not gonna, but you're gonna need to see the map red and
Yeah. Oh, I know, dude. I'm a 15%er, bro.
Hmm.
Oh no, sorry, 14.
Congratulations, I'm 9. So basically, DoorDash is squeezing the driver with the new program, the Dasher reward program. You have the silver, the platinum, the gold, the kryptonite, and all those programs that just want to F the drivers. And that was the subject today in the live stream. It's crazy. So
See,
I think you need options.
yeah,
Driver need options.
they always have.
Things are changing, definitely. You
Yeah.
mentioned that the last time we talked.
Yeah.
Catering options and different options that you need to look. And yeah, definitely DoorDash is not the same. You cannot think that DoorDash is gonna be the same comparing 2018.
No,
It's
no.
just
Well,
not the same.
yeah.
Are you all aware of the meetup and convoys that are going to be happening in June with the rideshare garage people in Austin? No, but Rick, tell me more. Shoot me a text. Like I have no idea what you're talking
like
about.
Vinny
but-
Coos and stuff.
I heard something about an event in May. What is that?
Everybody's
What am I
making stuff
losing?
up.
Oh, okay. I was like, I want to join.
Rideshare Garage is Vinny Coos. I'm sure that's what he's talking about. Vinny's down in Florida. But
Cool. Well,
yeah,
Follow the rep.
Norton, sad to hear the news, but that's kind of how even when David told me yesterday, it was like, like I think him and Jimmy were both like, you kind of took it best. I don't think they expected me to because I saw the good in it immediately.
Luis is sitting here like, what is going on?
I don't know.
And he screamed so he could talk.
You remember Friends?
Yeah,
When the Joey laugh of things that he don't know. I like, what the hell? I don't know what's going on.
But I guess I'm saying, like, because those other things, I mean, they did work in their own right, but now it's still the same thing. It's still trying to find better work for people. And there's other companies doing catering and things like that. And again, we'll be here every week, but that's, again, just wanting to be transparent. That's how we started. That's how David and I met. It was all about transparency, being honest. And we just want to be honest with you guys. And I think there's a lot of room to bring you guys a lot of good stuff. And it might not come as directly as you'd expect it. So
we'll be continuing, and we'll continue to do the show, and we'll be showing you the new stuff that's being built too. So everyone
we'll show you the sausage being made. So speaking of which, we're gonna go out for some killer barbecue or something because I'm in Texas and I'm normally not here. So you guys, thank you for joining us. They were talking about in their live lesson. I don't know who's that, but anyway, guys, thank you for joining us, and anybody watching, thank you. And just again, watch next week. We'll be back, and every week it'll be a little more info.
Well, you'll be back. I won't.
Hey,
maybe.
Hey, maybe.
Well, if you pay me enough, nah, just kidding.
All right, guys, have a great evening.